I've tried to use things that are in reach of people who would be listening to this at home. Like I have a Vox amp, but I know a lot of people don't have a Vox amp. So I've used a plugin to try and create that sound. The thing about plugins is you have to do a lot more to try and recreate the depth of something like a Vox amp. Again, not saying that you ever get there, but you're trying to get close. I would always normally use an actual amp and things like that. So I say if you have something that's more like that, an amp, use that. I've tried to capture things more at the source, like talktalk did. With the drums, they're pretty much as they are. There's a little bit of EQ and reverb added because I'm in a small room. Because Spirit of Eden was recorded to tape, I have an outboard hardware tape unit, a saturation tape unit, so I'm using that on the master bus. That might be probably the only thing people don't have. You can use a tape plugin. Some of them are decent. I haven't really heard anyone yet that sounds like tape. The one that is good is a free tape plugin called Chow Tape, which I'm using in the track. So that's a free one people can get. I think that's a really cool one. You can do lots of different things to try and manipulate the sound. So let's start off on the drums. I played my Ludwig kit and I had 3 mics on it. So I had an SM57 on the snare, which was getting the rim shot. I had an SM57 on the ride cymbal, and I had an AA U47 clone on the kick. With regards to EQ and stuff like that and reverb, there's a room reverb on the rim shot. There is a EQ on the rim shot too, which is at 5.19K. I'm doing 4.56 dB. So on the kick, I'm boosting 3.32 dB at 72 hertz. I'm taking 4.5 dB out at 194 hertz. I'm taking about 4 dB out at 448 hertz. And I'm adding a little bit at 6.5K, so I'm adding 4 dB at that. The ride cymbal, there's no EQ on that. There's nothing on that. That's just as it is as it is. All the drums are going to a Chow Tape plugin, which everything goes to. So it's all going through the Chow Tape plugin. And also all the drums are going to a reverb send, which is a B Reverb 2. Next, onto the guitars. I have a few guitars on this, so there's a few guitars. Again, everything's going through that reverb send, so everything's going through that reverb send. The guitars, there's a room reverb on one guitar, it's at 36.5%. I'm taking a bit of low end off, up till about 300 on one guitar. I'm adding 6 dB at 1.5K or about that 1.4. I'm adding 2 dB at 3.1K. There's another guitar, it's going through the BYOD by Chow DSP, which is the same guy that makes the Chow Tape. That Chow Tape is free, and this plugin is free too. That's only for like one little part. There's another guitar. So all these guitars are going through this stock plugin with Persona, so it's called Empire, and it's a Vox AC30. It sounded better going through my Vox, but I thought for the purpose of the video it would be easy to recreate for people, because people might have a different amp or they might not have an amp. So I had a tremolo pedal on it, and I don't know the settings because I did it late at night. I was like, oh shit, I forget settings. But anyways, there's a tremolo on it. The piano is basically just a Pianotech VST. I didn't EQ it or anything, I just left it as it is, so it's the Pianotech. There's an organ, which I don't think is on the main verses of this or main intro. Again, I didn't really EQ it. On my master bus, I'm taking out 1.27 dB at 261 hertz. I'm adding 1.21 dB at basically 1000 hertz. I'm taking out 1.21 dB at 4000 hertz, and I'm adding 0.112 dB at 10,000 hertz. I mean, that's kind of pointless, that one. Everything goes into this Sunset Sound plugin, which I think is cool. I use it on my mixes. I kind of use it's very similar. The wet is at minus 16.9 dB. So it kind of just makes everything sound like it's in the same room, which I think is important when you're recording everything individually and you don't have a big room to use something like that. Then next is the Pulsar, that new tape plugin, which I liked. So I was like, okay, I'll kind of use that. I'm not doing too much on that. It's basically when you open it, I'm just driving it a bit. I think I'm driving it maybe a quarter of the way. Then I'm using my outboard hardware, which is the density. I have the boom setting on, which basically gives like a mid-low bump. And then at the end of it, there's an SSL plugin. I'm hitting it about 1 dB of gain reduction. Because I'm not using compression on anything, I'm just kind of using the tape hardware, adding saturation and compression through that. And then the tape plugin, because everything's going through with the chow tape, so that's adding another bit of kind of like tape compression, you know. And yeah,